Listen to this episode if you have been thinking about hiring for your product-based business. We're going to break down the major times when you know you need to start hiring in your product-based business. What I'm talking about here is if you are an artist, if you are a designer, if you are a maker, if you manufacture products, whatever, if you sell products online, physical products online, and you have been here and you are making sales, when do you know when you should hire? And this is such a fun topic because there is so much freedom that can come from hiring, and you already know in this freepreneur world of my little nook of the internet, you already know that it is absolutely necessary to instill freedom inside of your business. Your business should be run by you. You should not be run by your business. So we're gonna really break down these common and most major times you need to know when to grow or when to hire in your product-based business. You might be honestly missing out on a lot of growth if you don't hire. When you hire in your business, it's actually people taking things off of your plate so you no longer have to do them. And let me tell you, the first time you hire, you are going to be like, wow, that just got done and I didn't even have to think about it, like mind blown. And I totally know that feeling, because I've done that plenty of times where all of a sudden you outsource something new and I'm like, wow, that just happened without me having to do it. How nice. It's so wonderful. So we're going to dive into that today. You honestly could miss out on a lot of growth in your business because there becomes a time where you will or can plateau. And of course, in a product-based world, you can outsource into a manufacturer, you can outsource into a supplier, you can outsource to people that are packaging your products and things like that. But there's other things behind the scenes as well that we can add to here. So really what it comes down to is you want to hire for your weaknesses. That is really overarchingly is you want to hire for your weaknesses. If you would be interested in a podcast all about how to know who to hire and wanting more information on hiring, let me know on my Instagram. I'd love to hear that from you, or in the comments on YouTube. But these are really the major times when you know you need to start thinking about hiring or when you need to hire again as well. First things first is when your time is capped and you literally can't do anything else in your day-to-day. If you are like, holy cow, I can't even imagine adding anything to my plate, I am so swamped, and whether that is with your kids, with your life, your business, your full-time job, whatever that might be, if your time is capped, it's one of the only assets that you can't make anything more of unless you outsource or make things more effective in what you're doing. When your time is capped, you have to start thinking of, okay, I know that I am stopping doing things that I need to do and that I could be doing more in order to grow my business faster. Now I need to outsource. Next would be when you have no time to work on your business. If you are just consistently working in your business, we need to make a time management change. You need to look at working on your business as the business owner is your role at this point. So we need to look at the things that don't take your face, that don't take your brain, and what are things that you can outsource that might not be your quote unquote zone of genius. How can we get you into a better area into that your brain really works? Are you creative? Are you analytical? Like, where do you really work, and how can we outsource people in other areas so you can actually spend the time working on your business? So things that don't take your face or your brain, where can we outsource those so you can have more time to work on your business? Next is kind of off of that is when you aren't good at something and it'll take you weeks or months to figure out how to be good at it. Now, I am all for messy action. Let me tell you, when I started my business, I was like all about, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm gonna listen to every podcast. I'm going to, if you know anything about my story, I started with a blog. And I was a sustainability blog talking about how you can live more sustainably, outdoors, all of the things. And so nobody was buying. And so I decided, let me try to figure this out. This was like pre-influencers. Let me try to figure this out. So I listened to every podcast. I read all of these journal entries. I was in college for business management and marketing. I was doing all of these different things, and it wasn't until I it took me weeks to months to like really figure out all these frameworks, but now there's people that put their stuff in courses. You can take I was taking college courses, but it wasn't for my specific business. And so you can either hire somebody to teach you something to get better at it quickly, or you can hire somebody to just do it. A really big thing here that I hear a lot is like analytics, social media strategy, where you just like, especially as creatives, I find a lot of people get very burnt out with screens. I don't know if that's something that I love social media. I could literally create all day long, but I would say I'm a more strategic brain. I have become more creative, but I am strategy first and creative second. And I find people that are creative first and strategy second tend to get more burnt out by social media. And I think that if that is something that really burns you out, maybe outsourcing some of it or having somebody create more content, or when you aren't good at something, if you don't know how to analyze your numbers, if you don't know how to bookkeep, like I think the first thing that a lot of people do outsource is bookkeeping, is their accounting for their taxes and things like that, because I'm lucky. I went to business school, so I know how to do my own accounting, as well as my dad's a financial advisor, so he filled in the gaps that I didn't remember in college, and that was really helpful for sure. Like number one thing is that a lot of people do, but you need to find something that you aren't good at or your weaknesses. If you're not good at taking product photos, outsource it. Product photos, bookkeeping, and social media are some of I guess maybe not social media fully, but like some more of like the admin behind the scenes stuff, I do find that are a lot of people's, some of their first hires. As well as when you're just like ready for support, when you just want other people to do things so you can do other things inside of your business. Some of these that a lot of people hire are for shipping. If people are packing, shipping, and doing slight assembly of your products, those are some of the first hires that I feel when people just like want support and they don't want to do it anymore. And especially when your time is capped, these are some good ones as well to free up the time where you can actually work on growing the business and money generating things, money generating strategies. That is when you need to hire as well. Another one is when you just want more freedom. This can honestly be a nanny. And that's another one that I hear a lot of people is their first hire. And who you hire depends on you, your personality, your skills, and your life. If you are a business owner full-time, and you have kids full-time and you are trying to do both, maybe somebody that you hire is childcare. You hire a nanny for 1 day a week or for 3 hours in the morning so you can work on your business. Maybe when you want more freedom in your life, that can be somebody that you hire. Or if you are just sick and tired of working all day and you want more freedom, you need to hire an assistant. You need to hire somebody to do things that can come into your business and take things off of your plate. And last but not least is when you are really, absolutely, without a doubt, ready to scale. If you want to scale your business, sometimes you have to hire out things that you don't want to do. There are things in my business that whether it's hiring somebody to make a change on my website because it's going to take me hours to try to figure it out, or when hiring somebody, like I just hired somebody on to help me in different areas, to help me repurpose my podcast and start marketing it on social media. I have literally never marketed my podcast. I am an avid marketer, obviously, and I talk about marketing all day long. My podcast is a business and marketing podcast, and I literally have never marketed my podcast, and I have well over 100,000 downloads, and I'm a top-rated podcast on Spotify, and I have a lot of accolades around my business that a lot of people that market their podcast super heavily don't even have yet. And so I was like, Maddie, we need to start marketing this podcast, but it was something that I couldn't physically do to add to my plate to like market another something, have a whole other content strategy around it and to repurpose it. So I hired out somebody. Now, Did I need to do that? Could I add that to my plate? Sure. Would that cut down on my freedom? And would it add more stress to my day-to-day life and make me want to put out 2 episodes a week every single week? No, absolutely not. Would it make that content come out really, really well? No, totally not. And so sometimes if you just want to scale, and I had somebody tell me, Maddie, I just want to let you know there's a big gap in your business that when you hit the sales that you're at, if you don't start outsourcing, a lot of people plateau. And I knew that that would probably happen if I didn't start having other people do other things in my business for me and with me. And so you have to look at where your time is going and where you want your time. I've had people that are part-time in their business hire somebody because they didn't have the time in their day. They didn't want to quit their full-time job yet, but they didn't have the time in their day to actually ship and pack all of their items. So they hired somebody. And even if it was another stay-at-home mom and they would bring their kids over and your kids would play and they would work together to putting 2 heads together and having 2 people be productive, or maybe they hired a nanny, or maybe they just hired a high school student to bring their stuff to the post office for them, or to pack it and to ship it and to put all of it in little bags. It doesn't have to be this big professional thing right away. And I think that's a hot take that not a lot of people will tell you, is you have kind of 2 options. You can either hire somebody to get the job done, or you can hire a professional that is obviously going to already know what you're doing. Now, but it might be more expensive or whatever. So of course, hiring depends on your own profits. You shouldn't be hiring people, which then puts your business at a negative unless it is there to drastically scale. You've heard me say it before, time is your biggest asset in your business, and you need to be consistently working on your business to scale. If you're spending too much time working in your business, your sales will plateau. So the things that I would outsource first are the little medial tasks that you don't have to do. Your product listings, your product photos if they take you too much time and you don't enjoy them, your emails that maybe you don't enjoy watching, making, their shipping, packaging, all of those things that I kind of just covered. Those are working in your business. You need, as the business owner and as a scaling entrepreneur where you're trying to build your business, you need to start working on how can you scale from here? How can you work on your business to grow? And as we talked about last week, you need to be able to analyze, you need to be able to optimize, and you need to be able to then expand. And those are your areas of expertise, is doing some of those things. So the major shift that you have to do here to get to consistent sales, it really is okay to do it all. When you have consistent sales, before you're there, it's okay for you to do it all because your sales don't really make sense for you to hire too many people out. It is good to outsource. Now, I still think I do still think product photos is a good thing to outsource, website design, some of those major elements of your process make sense for you to outsource, but I think outsourcing is different than hiring. Outsourcing is hiring a professional to do something that you don't want to do, and hiring is more so bringing somebody on. In my mind, what we're talking about today is to do some more admin work, if that makes sense. And so you can do everything. Of course, if it's out of your zone of genius, if you're not good at product, if you're finding something that you're constantly making excuses around, maybe that's not the right thing for you to outsource, or that's not something that you should keep doing if you're making excuses. That is the thing that you need to do first. That's possible. But to become that multi-six whatever figure business that you really want to have, hit that $250,000, whatever that number is in your mind, you need other people to work with you to fill your gaps and allow you to spend your time doing things that help you grow your business further, and to use your time wisely. If that's what you want to do, you need to, if you want to have those big goals, if you want to have that big time, all of this stuff going on, you need to be able to bring people in and train them. Now, I know you're like, Maddie, it sounds like it's going to take weeks to months. I don't really like anything that anybody does. I've had my fair share of bad hires as well. But if you listen to any big time business owner, they will tell you to learn how to hire and fire faster. Learn how to hire fast and fire fast when they aren't working. And it's just part of it. I have already fired people before I fired people. Honestly, I might have been like 18 years old when I fired my first person. And it was the most terrifying thing. I literally cried for days the first time I fired somebody. And I just want to make that so clear that it is a sad and scary thing to do sometimes, especially if you brought them on full time, whatever, is it can suck, but you have to do it. It's part of being a business owner, and that having to fire somebody shouldn't deter you from hiring them to making your business and your life and your sales be better or grow faster. So when you know it's time for you to hire, most definitely is when your time is capped, when you're looking for more freedom, or you're looking to drastically grow. You're wanting to hire people for your gaps. If you want help with this, this is going to be one of the elements that we talk about as a possibility for you inside of my product sales expansion workshop mastermind, which means it's a very workshop style where we're getting in the weeds with you, we're diving in, and we're really helping you scale your sales and drastically expand your business this year. Hiring is naturally a topic of conversation inside of this program because that is something that maybe might be necessary in order for you to expand at this rate. Or for you to be ready that when those sales come, your business isn't like, you're not backpedaling trying to figure out how to make it happen for you. If you're interested in learning more about the product sales expansion, come on over to my Instagram at thisismadisonpage, DM me scale, and oh my gosh, I would love to have you inside of there if that's something that you are looking for. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that you are at least thinking about hiring. Truly, hiring is one of those things that makes your life so much easier when you find the right people, which can be really hard. But once you do, it just makes sense and it makes your life so much easier. It's so nice. So I hope that you at least learned a little bit of something in here. I love you, I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always. I will talk to you on my Instagram at thisismadisonpage.